Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to Thank Furlough. It's Friday. I keep saying Furlough. Thank Furlough. It is Friday. Not just any old ICB TV program, but the award-winning ICB TV program. So thank you all for making it all such a success. And of course, it would not be the success it is if we didn't have with us the inimitable Jackie Mount, still with us again today. She's going to have a break soon, one of these Fridays, so we're trying to find somebody that can sort of stand in her stead a little bit, which is going to be really difficult, but nonetheless. Good afternoon, Jackie. You're a little windswept down there, I gather, a bit like us here in Romsey.
Yes, we are. It's incredibly windy here. It's worse than it ever was in the winter. And in fact, I've moved up to the house because my internet is breaking down in the office completely, and it's a bit dodgy here in the house. So if I break up or go a bit woozy, just forgive me. It's the wind, not anything else.
Well, I'm very pleased to say that yesterday was my haircut day. I know a lot of you will look at this and think it doesn't look a lot shorter, but I trust it 5 inches off the back. Although I have to say it did look a lot shorter when I came out yesterday. I was feeling a little bit like Shaun the Sheep. But today has been a day of rescuing bits of garden from one end and putting it back where it should be at the other because of the wind. And a couple of minutes ago, I had to take dear old Barclay out for his sabbatical because it was too windy for him to go by himself. So I had to walk out with him. So I was looking a little bit blown, but anyway, never mind. So Jackie, I've got some stuff to talk about because we've got a big event on the ICB calendar coming, of course, Inspire, but I'll talk about that in a little while. You've got some stuff from HMRC, I gather.
Yes, I have. In fact, what I've done is I've done some slides for you so that there's quite a lot of information to come out today. It's nothing particularly new. Some of it's really just pointing you in the direction of things that are happening for future. But so I am just going to actually share my screen and let's start with what we've got. So let's have a look at what's happened today. Just some reminders, really. The VAT referral, this is going back to the VAT from the start of the pandemic, where we had the March to June VAT, which was deferred. Confirmation of, I think, what I said last week, that you either have to sign up to the new direct debit scheme by the 21st of June, or all outstanding VAT has to be paid by the 30th of June. If that is not happen, if neither your clients have signed up nor are they paying their VAT, after the 30th of June, there's going to be a 5% penalty charge and or interest. So do make sure that you have a payment plan, or you've signed up to the VAT deferral direct debit scheme, or the VAT, your clients have paid the VAT by the 30th of June. Otherwise, they're going to start to get hit with penalties. So that's the first little one. Now, the CJRS claims for April, of course, are now closed. They closed on the 14th of May. But if you do make a check, you can no longer make an initial claim for April. But if you need to change your claim, you've got until midnight on the 28th of May to do that. So that's if you haven't claimed enough or you've got some changes to do or whatever. So claim periods for May and June are now open, and the May CJRS closes on the 14th of June. But of course, you do then have until the 28th of June to make any amendments on that. So it's a bit confusing. There's three things going on at once here. So hopefully you should have that and not have any problems. Now, a lot of you are doing starting to do your self-assessment tax returns for clients. Now, assuming that your accounting year follows the normal tax year, in the current 2021 self-assessment, you need to include the SAYS claims 1, 2, and 3. Now, 4 and 5 will now appear in the 21-22 return. So you do need to check your basis dates, because if your accounting year dates are not 6th of April to the 5th of April, or even 1st of April to the 31st of March, you're going to have to look at how that offset is going to affect what you declare in the current tax year. But it's all the tax that falls within the 2021 tax year. So do watch out. on that one. And I know we have quite a few members who are dealing with this. And what's happening now that you've got your year end completed up till, say, the end of March, is that a number of members are finding that clients have actually claimed the SAYS grants, but are perhaps not eligible for them. And we probably had half a dozen queries from members on what they should do. Now, again, we've discussed this before. The view that I think you should take is that you should point out to your clients that based on the declaration that they signed when they signed it, they may or may not be entitled to keep that money. And I think it's going to be a very diplomatic point out to them about this, because they may very well have to pay some of that back. Now, we're still waiting for the details on how that's going to happen. So if you're in that situation, you need to contact us. Please do email your technical query in, and we'll try and pick that up and see where we go from there. And if you're really having a problem with your clients, again, do contact us, because we can possibly help you and tell you how to deal with that. So watch out for that one. Now, interesting, this year there were 63,500 self-assessment tax returns actually submitted on the 6th of April. That's the first day you could actually submit it, and that figure's trebled since 2017. So I've absolute, just an interesting point there that came out from HMRC the other day. So interesting number of people are actually submitting their tax returns on the very first day. Now, whether that's just that they're ready and they want to know what their tax demand is and everything, or whether they just think, well, actually it's the end of the year, we've got to submit it. Of course, it wouldn't be an ICB bookkeeper that thought that. That's got to be submitted on the first day. That might very well be the situation. We don't know why they were submitted, but it's interesting that it's trebled since 2017. This one has gone out on social media, but just to let you know that Companies House are closing over Monday night for some maintenance. So it'll be down between 8 p.m. on the 24th and 6 a.m. on the 24th of May. That's this coming Monday night. So just watch out if you do decide to work late Monday night and you want to do your Companies House return and it's after 8 o'clock, you probably won't be able to do it. So I could think of much better things to do with a Monday evening than to do Companies House returns. Now, this is an interesting one. If you were listening to the last Technical Tuesday that we did with Werner, we had a long conversation about this moving VAT across to the Enterprise Tax Management platform. Now, this is for non-MTD registered businesses who are currently submitting their VAT returns. Perhaps you're doing it as an agent, but they're being done through your agent online services account. So you log in, you update the details, you either manually input the 9 figures or you're uploading from your software, but it's not MTD. Now, because MTD for VAT is becoming mandated from next April, as you're probably now all aware, HMRC are moving everything across to this ETMP system where the MTD stuff is sitting from the old mainframe computer. And what's happening is that HMRC are moving the tax accounts across over a as yet to be determined period. Some have started, some will still not have happened, and some. However, not mentioning anything derogatory about HMRC, as I would never do, there is an issue because, and I'm actually going to put this up in full. HMRC have issued a statement, so I'm actually going to put this up in full so you can read it, but I will go through it. I hope you can all see that, or whether the pictures across it. But basically what's happened is that HMRC have moved these accounts across. Now, if you've been moved across and you're a non-MTD business, basically, to cut all that down into a nutshell, what's happening is as the system, the VAT figures are moved across from the old system to the new system, which is the MTD-based system, emails are going out to agents to say your client is now registered for MTD because they've moved it across. That's actually not what's happened. What's happened is that it's been moved across under exactly the same premise as it is at the moment. So it's non-MTD, you'll still upload your 9 figures, you'll still upload through your software, but not through the MTD platform. But somehow, when this was programmed, it assumed that as they were moved across, they were automatically going to be MTD based. Now, there are about 190,000 businesses whose accounts have already been migrated or will be migrated, where agents and possibly the clients themselves, if they're doing this themselves, will be getting this message. Now, HMRC have apologised for, sorry, let me go back, have apologised for this, and will be correcting this as soon as possible. So hopefully that will all get it sorted out. So if you are getting messages about your clients, there is also an issue I know about actually logging on. So basically what you're going to do is you log on to your old, I'm going to call it old, although it's still current, the old Agent Online Services, where you can actually see the entire list of your clients. You click on the client, and then if it's migrated across, it will tell you it's migrated across. If it doesn't, you should still be able to access it from there. So again, anyone doing this over the next couple of weeks, if you've got some issues and you really can't sort of resolve them yourselves, do let us know and we'll try and pick that up on your behalf for you. So hopefully that should work fairly quickly. Okay, just a quick one. Yesterday, HMRC issued its agent update number 84. Now, at the moment, if you want to look at that, you can put the search engine and get on. There's quite a lot of information in there. Those are the main headings that it's covering. They're all fairly standard. I'm a little bit concerned about their calling it UK transition, but that's to do with post-Brexit and the transition across from post-Brexit. Anything to do with tax, there's some HMRC agent services, there's a bit about the agent forum and how that's working, and some technical updates and reminders. So if you've got a spare 10 minutes, it's worthwhile looking at it if you're an agent, just flicking through it to see if there's anything there that particularly affects you and your business, and read the details. At some stage, we will get a link up to do that, but we've not had a chance to do that yet. So Agent 84, Agent Update 84 was issued yesterday. Now, this one also came out, just some basic information. I have a feeling that this won't actually affect many of our members, because this is to do with customs declarations rather than deferred import VAT. When you're importing information, if you or your clients have chosen to import and delay the customs declaration that has to be made, we are getting to the stage now where if you're imported goods in January and you didn't make the customs declaration, or your freight agent didn't make the customs declaration, you're going to have to start putting some supplementary information up on there, because that's going to be due very soon. I don't think any of our members, certainly not the ones I've spoken to, are involved in actually making the customs declarations themselves, because as I said, that's going to be your client and it's going to be the freight forwarder that does this. But there are some very useful little videos. I had a quick look at this list this morning. If you go into YouTube and look at the HMRC YouTube channel, there are some interesting little, very short, helpful videos on there. They're about 2 minutes long, some of them, just on specific things. It's very well organized. So if you're in that situation, then do go and have a look at those. It was a busy day. Everybody's been getting information out. Now, the pensions regulator issued its regular update. I think that came in either this morning or yesterday afternoon. And it's fairly standard. The work that the pensions regulator are doing is standard. They're obviously overseeing all the automatic enrolment. They're now looking that a lot of their work is to deal with compliance. And if people aren't complying, they're obviously sort of issuing penalties and taking people to court and that sort of thing if they're very serious. But one of the things that they are doing is that they're looking into the change to pensions since auto enrolment came in some years ago, or five years ago, was it now? Because what's happened is that because of auto enrolment, there is a huge increase in the number of people who are paying into something called a direct contributions pension rather than the direct benefits. Now, the contributions pension is where you are paying into a pension scheme, which is perhaps being invested by the pension company into either stocks or shares or whatever. And the value of the pension will go up and down depending on, say, the stock market. So it's difficult to ascertain exactly how much your pension is going to be if you are quite a long way away from retirement. That's in opposite to direct benefits, which is a type of pension which is beginning to fade out now because it's very expensive, because it's based on your length of service and your final salary. So it's things like public sector pensions, teachers' pensions, that sort of thing. And those schemes are now closing down, basically because it is very, very expensive. But what the pensions regulator has done recently is it's launched this call for input. Now, this is not aimed at us as users of pensions, and our members don't really get involved with this because we do not advise on pensions at all. But it's interesting that they've gone to the pensions industry for a call for input or evidence about the decisions that individuals make about their pensions at key points. And it's a lot of this is to do with, I'm afraid it's going to be to do with scams of people trying to get you to change your pension across to somewhere else and then lose a lot of money. So there's quite a lot of work going on that. As I said, it's unlikely to affect our members because we don't advise on which pensions to use, but it will obviously have an effect on your clients if they're in this situation. So I just thought I'd raise that as an interesting. Now, this one is very interesting. Back last year, ICB put in a response to the Office of Tax Simplification's review into capital gains tax. Now, the report that they brought out is huge, and they've actually brought it out in two parts. Now, stage one came out towards the end of last year, and stage two came out, I think it was yesterday. And one of the interesting things that they come out in this is that they are strongly recommending, it's the first recommendation in this report, about how HMRC should be looking at our own tax accounts. Now, as you're probably aware at the moment, everybody has a personal tax account. So if you're an individual who's perhaps employed, you have a personal tax account which you can look into. Everybody has a personal tax account, even if they haven't yet accessed it or set it up to access it. And that gives you information about your salaries, tax paid if you're employed, if you're on working families, or you're on some form of credit, tax credits like universal credit or anything like that, you can get information on that. And then if you are self-employed and you do a self-assessment tax return, you also have a business tax account. Now, with the advent of MTD coming in 2023 for self-assessment, one of the things from day one of MTD that the majority of professional bodies have been saying is that to have a separate personal tax account and a business tax account is going to make it very difficult when MTD comes in, because you as agents, as tax agents for the self-employed, do not have access to their personal tax accounts, which means that you are relying on the information that your client might have to give you for you in order for you to be able to do your job properly. Now, some of that information is then transferred across to the business tax account, and you may or may not have access to that. Now, what the Office of Tax Simplification are recommending is that the first thing they should do to make the whole of the tax system simpler is to have a single tax account into which you can see all of your personal income, so interest, income on interests, dividends, salaries, self-employment, anything else like that should be in one place. And that's what their recommendation is. Now, that also means that any information on capital gains tax will appear in this single account. So you can see all of your tax, and there is even a chance that VAT will appear in there as well. So that was the first recommendation that they made. And there were 14 recommendations in as a whole, and they include the ones I want to home in on are the ones that are likely to affect our members more, and that's to do with capital gains tax on the sale of a second or rental property. Now, what happened historically was that capital gains tax on a property was submitted as part of the self-assessment tax return. Well, as of April 2020, so just over a year ago, that changed. And as the law stands at the moment, the capital gain on the sale of such a property has to be reported almost in real time and paid within 30 days of the date of completion, which is an incredibly short time to get all your information together. And in fact, some people may not even realize it's got to be done that quickly. And I think I said last week or the week before that HMRC are now starting to charge penalties for those who didn't actually pay their capital gains tax on the sale of a property within the 30 days. Now, what they're suggesting, what the OTS is suggesting, is that period should be extended out to say 60 days, or there should be a mandated requirement for all estate agents and conveyancers, so that's like your solicitor that deals with this, to actually ensure that everybody who sells property is aware of the new rules for capital gains tax, which to me makes perfect sense. So we'll watch this space. These are only recommendations. Whether they will actually come into play or not, we don't know yet. And there is another one that may or may not affect you if you're involved in this. And don't forget, if you're doing capital gains tax returns, you can only do those if you have the level 4 self-assessment qualification with ICB. You can't do it under the level 3 SAT qualification. You have to take the level 4. And what I would say before I go on to the next bit is that if you are doing that level 4 self-assessment, please be aware that capital gains tax is extremely complex. And like when we're testing bookkeeping at level 2, we can test the basics of it. But when you actually get out there as a working bookkeeper, you will know that there are things that crop up in your life that we have not tested you on, or your training providers didn't actually cover, because you can't cover everything. And exactly the same thing happens with self-assessment. So do be very careful, because it is incredibly complex. Now, there is an issue for couples who get divorced and split their property, that there may be a capital gain, but because of the delay in doing this, at the moment, that gain has to be reported within 12 months. Now, they're looking at extending that to at least 2 years after the property settlement has been made, or 2 years from the date set by the court. So again, if you're involved in capital gains tax, these are changes that may come up in the future. Not guaranteed, but they are recommended by the OTS. And there are loads of others. As I said, there's 14 recommendations. They cover the area of business, which includes the entrepreneur's relief. So if you've got a client who's sold their business and they're having to pay entrepreneur's tax on that, the sale of their business, then that may be affected. Some investors, there's some proposed changes to that. I haven't read it in detail. I literally spent an hour this morning reading the introductory summary chapter, and there are 166 pages in this report. So someone's been doing an awful lot of work. And there are planned changes over other land and properties. Now, by that, I mean, if you have land that's been compulsorily purchased, or you're using up a rollover relief, there are some changes proposed to that. So an interesting report. If anybody wants to plough through the 166 pages, please feel free, but you will get an awful lot just by reading the executive summary at the start. This was an interesting one. The last recommendation they made, and I'm going to make no comment on this at all, is that there should be considerable improvement in the HMRC guidance that's given out. So I'm just going to leave that one and park that one there and not say anything else about it. So that's everything I've got for you all today. So yeah, Gary, over to you.
Yeah, well, while everybody's thinking about their question, actually, we've got a couple coming already. A couple of things. First of all, you probably won't tell from your screen, but I'm actually wearing a pink shirt today. So I thought, well, it doesn't look very pink. It looks more mauve. It is pink. But I wore a pink handkerchief, and that makes it look even more mauve. But anyway, why am I wearing a pink shirt today? I'll give you a clue. The reason that I'm wearing it actually finished 1 hour and 23 minutes ago. But just see if anybody's got that. So that probably means we've got no audience now, because they've all gone off onto Google. But anyway, never mind. Last Friday, I announced that we were going to be announcing very shortly the days and times for the Inspire Tour. And lo and behold, Saturday morning, out went the information that this was going to be released this week. And I'm very pleased to say that this year we've extended it from its 2020, when we did 3 days, to a full 5-day program this year. And it will take place between the 14th and 18th of June. Now, we released this at 10:37 this morning with the dates and times and the tickets. And we had a very special offer for those, not just early birds, but VE birds, as we were calling them, very early birds. And I'm sorry, all gone. So the first 100 went out at 9, actually it was 9:57, I think, this morning, and they've already gone. And we got an email, I think it was, somebody's told me about here, from poor April Delderfield, who said, look, I'm at work, I can't buy one, and I want one. Well, April, we put one on one side for you, so don't worry. June's holding on to that, and if you haven't got it from her already, that's coming to you. We're really good like that, aren't we? And I think Kirsty St. John was first to book her ticket, which is brilliant. I think Kirsty had come if we
Well
opened the
done,
night.
Kirsty.
Oh, wouldn't she? Yeah, she's one of our stalwarts. Good, Kirsty. Well done. Brilliant. So basically, the 5 days is all about giving you huge amounts of information. There will be a lunchtime break, but basically 10 till 3. And I'm really pleased to say that the marketing team under Amy, they've been able to get the same platform as last year that we used for the conference. So those of you who really enjoyed yourselves on the conference platform last year, it's the same platform. So there'll be chat facilities, there'll be meeting facilities, and everybody was so complimentary about it that we just had to buy into it again. There will be everything you can possibly think of covered. All of the things that you said you wanted, some of the things that council have said they wanted, all those topics have been covered somewhere in that spread. And the other thing is that every day we will be featuring one member talking about their journey and how they got there and the lumps and the bumps along the way and what they're now thinking of doing, etc. And I know you love to see how your fellow members are working, so that one will be a great one. And then something new, and I don't have much detail about this, I have to say, but it is on Friday, there is a branch network pub quiz. So that sounds interesting. And I'm not quite sure when it's being run or who by, but look out for that. That is coming, and that's a bit of fun. I'm hoping that Furlough, it's Friday that week, can have something to do with that. I'm really not sure. I'm waiting for my instructions. What else have we got here? I think that's probably it at the moment. So don't forget, 14th to 18th of June, Monday through to Friday, starting at 10, finishing at 3. There is a break in the middle each day. That's quite short, sharp programs, and they're all what you've been asking for. So things on like VAT, MTD, I think there's something in there on the contractor scheme, etc. Jackie will be there without doubt. There'll be lots of other people, and we've got Ian's coming along there, and you know, we've got somebody there talking about ethics and various other things. So everything is being crammed into that. Now, obviously, you're not going to want to sit staring at your screen from 10 until 3 every day for 5 days. But again, because of this platform that we've got, you can log on to it. I'll find out exactly for how long, but I think over the for the summit, it was for 3 months after it had all gone. So you've got plenty of time to get through this. It's all good CPD. It'll get lots and lots of CPD points. You'll learn a lot. Now, the early bird tickets, so that's not the very early birds, I'm sorry, they've already gone, are now £54 for members. They're 74 if you're a non-member, so we're happy to take non-members as well. So if you think about it, £50, that's less than £3 an hour for CPD, which I think is pretty good going, even by our fantastic margin. So there we are. And yeah, I think that's about it at the moment. Shall we see what everybody's coming? Oh, we've got quite a few here on the chat.
Yeah, there's quite a few people saying they think it's, taking a guess, I think it was Debbie and who was it? Someone else, I can't remember, said New Zealand Pink Shirt Day.
That is correct. And those of you who don't know what Pink Shirt Day is about, apparently it's originated in Canada, but it's all about diversity, equality, and anti-bullying. So I thought I should jump in on that. Obviously, as ICB, we are as diverse as we possibly can be. From our member base through to what we do, the clients that we serve and everything else. So yeah, I thought I'd just throw that one into the mix. So well done, those of you who picked it out. Thank you very much.
And comments on submitting tax returns on the 6th of April. Claire said she submitted hers on the 6th to get it out of the way before she starts dealing with clients. What a sensible lady you are. You've obviously, at least you're not like the plumber who does all his clients' work and forgets all about his own leaks and things around. So well done. You've got your own house in order. Brilliant. Well done. And Suzanne said, I got my ticket at 8:14. Someone else has got their tickets. I was actually talking to a student member this morning who had gone online to book a ticket. So that's good.
Yeah, I think some people preempted the announcement. They went onto the system and it was there, so they bought straight away even before the announcement had gone out. But yeah, I mean, I think
a lot of them have gone.
The first 100 had gone, so that's great. So everybody likes a bargain. But look, that was, I think, £5 less than the current price. But at £54, it's an absolute steal. So it's good, and you'll definitely get your money's worth. And that is fantastic, and it. I'm looking forward to it because they're always great fun. It's not quite the same as being up there with you and talking to you face to face, but this is as good as it gets at the moment. And in fact, it's the best it gets. We got a lot of praise for our whole program last year from everybody. And at least we won't have the same problem we had when we were up in, I think, Newcastle year before last, when it was absolutely freezing outside and the hotels heating had gone down and everybody sat there in their coats. And to be honest with you, everybody thought I'd taken on a stutter because my face was shuddering from absolute pain. It was so cold and anyway, never mind. But yeah, those were great things. We are going to be doing some live stuff again sometime. As I've said, we are trying to do something at the moment live for our Lucas this year. I think the conference remains very much a virtual reality show because finding somewhere to do all of this is difficult anyway, but we just want to make sure it doesn't go all pear-shaped again later this year. Next year, hopefully, we'll be back on the road getting out to see you because our anniversary falls this year on the 1st of November, 25 years. So next year is our 25th year, if you like. So we're going to be doing things. We're going to stretch it a little bit to cover the whole year. So you won't get rid of us quite that quickly.
A couple of questions on the Inspire. Well, a couple of questions on the Inspire Tour before I get into the technical ones. Angela's saying, has the Inspire Tour email only gone out to full members? I did it last year, but I haven't received an email today.
No, it's gone out to everybody that's on our list. So that's students, affiliates, associates, full members, fellows, companion fellows, and every other person we can think of at the moment, I believe. If we take, I'll take that back. I mean, Iris is our anchor today. I'm sure she's already busy looking to see why that hasn't happened. But yeah, we'll find out for you. No, everybody should have had it.
And someone is saying, I'm actually away on the Inspire Tour week. Is there any chance of a catch-up?
Yeah, everything's available for a period afterwards. I say with the conference, I think it was 3 months. So I will check. I don't have that answer. Again, Iris might be able to fill us with that particular piece of information. But yeah, that's the great thing about this. Just because you can't get there on the day, it really, really doesn't mean that you can't take full advantage. So that's fantastic.
Gary, in the questions, there is one from Mark. Mark, can I ask you to have a look at that while I take out the 2 technical questions? Right, I'm going to pick up on 2 technical questions. This is from Faye. Good afternoon, Faye. My clients, this is an MTD one. Now, this is interesting. Thanks for putting this up, Faye. My client summarizes all his receipts on a spreadsheet. It totals all expenses. Absolutely fine, not a problem. He prints that out and scans the document. So what I see has no formulae. Will I need to have the digital version? I will then summarize the spreadsheet again to group costs for nominal postings. Will both these digital analysis be needed as evidence in the MTD return? You need to think, this is a good one for everyone actually, Faye, you need to think about where the digital link starts. Now, if your client has prepared a full spreadsheet with all the expenses categorized, if he's going to give you a scanned version of that, then you're going to have to import everything from there again and make sure you've got the source documents. However, if he can send you the spreadsheet and you can find some way of uploading that digitally from his spreadsheet, then that does actually mean that you've got a full digital link. You can't do a cut and paste, and the scanning means it's just as though he didn't do it and just sent you a whole printed list of all his receipts. So interesting, that one, Faye, but it's you need to think about that one and where the digital link's going to start. And Sylvia, hi Sylvia. Sylvia's come back and said, client has asked me if he will have to pay class 4 national insurance as well as income tax on his SAYS. Now, I haven't actually seen anything about class 4 national insurance. It does say pay tax on, it's a taxable profit. The answer is I don't know because I haven't seen it. However, what I am aware of is that there is a separate box on the tax returns for the SAYS grant. So I'm wondering if possibly it is purely for tax and they will take that out at the end, or whether it's going to have to be paid. So maybe if somebody's already put this in and done a calculation on that. Oh, hang on, Kat's already come back and said, yes, HMRC are calculating class 4 and income tax on the SAYS. Thank you, Kat. And Sylvia, that answers your question. So thank you very much for that, Kat. That was very fast. That came in before I even got the question answered. Thanks for that, both of you. So yes, tax and class 4.
I've just had a prompt, just following up on, can we see the Inspire tour after the week because they're not available? Yes, but you do need to have a ticket. So I think you have to buy into the platform and the event before it starts, because then that gives you access to the platform. So you can't buy after the event, as it were.
And again, following up on the SAYS grants and SAT, Lisa, thank you, Lisa. Lisa's reminded me, I had this conversation with somebody the other day, that the SAYS must be included in the tax year, not the accounting year. So you do have to look at how you report that, and you might have to separate it out and do that. So thanks for that, Lisa. Okay, lots of people are saying that they didn't get the emails. Do try your spam emails if you haven't got it coming through, and of course do check that you've actually signed up for all of these. So it may be that you've signed up for some things on our website and others not. So have a look at your My ICB and see what you've actually signed up to receive, and make sure you are signed up for them all.
Yeah, I'm just putting a few.
And someone here is saying you must be subscribed to the webinars list to have got an email from us. So as I say, you need to check what you've signed up for.
I mean, I think a lot of the members, not wanting to get too many emails, do cut themselves off from certain things. So unless it is regulatory, in which you can't cut yourself off, you can say, no, I don't want to hear about those things because you're fed up with hearing about webinars or whatever. So yeah, that might be the reason, but I'm 100. Oh, Laura actually has just come back and said, correction, I found the email. I did receive it. Sorry. Well, Laura, sorry. Yeah, glad you received it. Unfortunately, you missed the very early bird, but the early birds are still available if you are quick. It would be good to have you with us. But thank you for getting back to us on that, Laura. That's good to know that we are checking on the others.
And Dee's come back and said she's gutted that she missed the very early bird, so she's gone in for the early bird.
Mark, I've just asked for some answers on your exam. I know we had this morning a bit of a problem with Microsoft and its link to us and various things, and some of the exams were delayed a little, but I will get somebody to come straight back to you. Can you just give me a bit more detail on who you are, because I've just looked and we've got many thousands of marks, and believe it or not, about 240 of you are taking exams at the moment. Isn't that incredible? All with one name. Anyway, so if you can give me your surname, I'll know who you are and we'll try and get back to you.
No one else can see it, Mark, apart from us on the panel, so you're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, and Dee's come back and said, yes, I can see I wasn't on the webinar list. I changed it now. Great for you that so many are keen. So yes, so hopefully you should get inundated now, Dee, and you'll be able to see them all. So well done. Okay. I think at the moment that's I've covered everything that's come in so far. And Laura's got her early bird tickets now, so looking forward to it. So yeah, well done.
Debbie says it's Pink Short Day. No, it's just shirts as far as I'm aware, Debbie. But anyway,
yeah, I think she did say after that she meant shirt, and someone else said I've got mine.
Yes.
That means
I think shorts would probably be a bit beyond the pale, but anyway, never mind. And we've
as long as it's below the desk, Gary, you're all right. I
know. But the strange thing is that everybody keeps looking at the books I've got behind me, and I always think I'm going to check them out. But I moved one the other day because it was about Kazakhstan. And somebody says, is that the Kama Sutra? I said, no, it's Kazakhstan. But anyway, I moved it just in case we get anybody else worrying, Never mind. Anything else coming up? I'm just seeing if anybody's, I keep getting notes sent me. Yeah, very good point about Jackie ICB conduct. We've now had half a dozen of you within the last 10 minutes. We've had 8 people resubscribing. So yeah, I understand that we do send you a lot of emails, particularly if you go to branches and then you come to Inspires and you want to go to everything else. And it does get difficult. And whatever happens, people either tell us we've sent too many or, well, you should have sent me a reminder. So we can't win. So we'll just send it out. And you obviously have the chance to unsubscribe. But then when something important like this comes up, unfortunately, you do miss. So great call there, Jackie. That's exactly what was happening for most.
I always work on the base. I was going to say, I always work on the basis that I sign up for everything. And if I just have a quick look at them, and if I don't want to, I just delete them quickly. It really doesn't take that long. Better to get them twice than to miss one sometimes, depending on what you're signing up for, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I do that with my emails as well. And then the ones that I think I might want to go back to, I put as unread. And I've just had here so far, I've got 6,759 unread emails. So those are the ones I'm going to go back to and look at another day. Procrastination is the thief of time.
Yes, I know. I do the same. I'm always horrified. I have this amusing comment. I have this thing where, particularly with work emails as well as personal emails, I like to be able to see all my emails in one screen, and then as soon as I've dealt with it, I move it across into a filing system, and I start to panic if my emails come so far in and I haven't had a chance to deal with them, and I now have to scroll through emails. So I've actually spent the entire morning clearing emails from you all and dealing with technical queries that only about a week, some of them, but things I promised I'd get back to you on. So hopefully I'm now up to, or at least I was up to date at 1 o'clock when I shut my office down, and haven't checked them since. So I don't know how many I've got left to deal with since then.
Well, it's surprising what you come across when you're not intending to. And as you know, we had a bit of a problem before we came on air because we couldn't hear each other, and I was messing around there. And I found this useful little button, which I haven't looked at yet on Zoom, which is touch up my appearance. So I might be going for a very cheap facelift by the time we next talk. Yeah, completely different. But anyway, I don't know what it means. I mean, I presume it'll blur me out or other so that the wrinkles disappear or something, yeah. Why now after all this time, eh? Never mind. And if we got
I had an email from someone I had a fun email. I'm just saying, I'm chuckling there. I had an email from one of our very long-standing members, who shall remain nameless, who's probably on this afternoon, saying that I'm always giggling on here, and I said, yes, it does degenerate into a giggle fest at some times.
Yeah, I think I was trying to watch a webinar the other day, and it was on, admittedly quite a dry subject, but I switched off in the end because it was interesting, but I was so bored by the way everybody was looking, like the world was about to end or something like that. And I think that we might be a little flippant, you and me, on our Friday show for a few people, but I think you've just got to lighten the load a little bit. Hopefully it's come at the end of a week, and you want a bit of light relief as well. So this is why we talk about odd things and various other things. But the information is still there. The kernels of necessity are not too far hidden, I think, by our occasional larking around. But anyway, so be it. And great. Are we about done on the questions there? I think Jackie's quite quiet.
We are for today. My internet is showing that it's breaking up. The wind is getting really bad here, so I may Gary in pink shorts. The mind boggles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And Kirsty says, what happened to the film and TV recommendations? Or is it not relevant now we can go out?
What? Oh!
Do you remember you used to do a TV and film recommendation? Kirsty says, is it no longer relevant as we can go out now?
Yes. No, I'd forgotten about that actually. Yeah, again, that's the slightly less serious side of thing. Yes, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. Now, I only mention that because the main part in that is obviously Tom Cruise, but his female sidekick in this one, we were watching it the other night. Jim and I were sitting there watching. I said, this woman reminds me of somebody. Who is it? And about halfway through, she said, well, it's Lucy Brown. Now, those of you who don't know Lucy, Lucy was the chair of Lincolnshire. She's recently joined the Institute as director of professional standards. And this lady has a particular knack for sort of grabbing people around the neck with her legs. So I'm hoping that Lucy's got some of that talent anyway, just in case some of you stray. But no, yeah, it was the way she spoke and various other things. So you should watch Rogue Nation. She will now not be very happy. I'm sure she's listening in, but never mind. She'll not be very happy about that. Other than that, I can't think of one at the moment. I did start watching Wallander again recently. It got so depressing. I haven't pushed series 2 yet. I'm not going to bother with that. What about you, Jackie? Well, you don't sit and watch television. You read, don't you, or something?
I do read a lot. I'm obviously into anything to do with gardening and wildlife and that sort of thing, which we love. And I'm not I do watch the odd film, but I tend to go for I don't know, I suppose soft and light films. I don't like anything too heavy. I did for a number of years watch all the Star Wars and all that sort of thing, simply because my kids watched it. So I've done all of those in the past. But Judy's saying The Pact. I haven't seen that yet. Have you seen that? It's a series on BBC One, on BBC, isn't it? It just started this week, I think. It's a new series.
Yeah.
I think it's a murder mystery type thing, and there's a Pact.
I was so disappointed with the final episode of Line of Duty that I've sort of given up at the moment on those. I need to have another look. I mean, that didn't go anywhere, did it? No, but anyway, such is life.
Yes, I have yet to find anybody that found the ending of Line of Duty to be worthwhile. And someone else, we're getting loads of suggestions. The Dig is a really interesting film. Now, I haven't seen that, but it's on my lined up list to watch. Claire was disappointed with Line of Duty. Nicola can recommend The Pact. The Pact is really good. Oh, I like this. I like watching things that our members recommend, because I know it's going to be okay then. Lovely. Good things to watch.
I think I might have mentioned, if I haven't, I'll mention again, a short series called The Detectorists, which is a very English series, a little slow, but actually quite funny, quite interesting. That was good. And I'm just trying to think of the one that Ricky Gervais was in, where he just lost his wife. Now, that was quite sad, and there was rather too much swearing in it for my mind, but it was a very hard-hitting but enlightening film at the end of the day.
Now, here's one. Steve is recommending Schitt's Creek on Netflix or Motherland on BBC Two. Now, I started watching Schitt's Creek and I got through to about number 3 and thought, no, this isn't. I think if you can get through the first series, I understand the rest of it's really good. But I'm struggling, having loads of friends who are American.
Yeah.
No, I think
like you, Jackie. I gave up the paddle on about series 4 because I think they just got a bit weird and wonderful. But
I didn't even get that far. Here they come. Oh, Afterlife is Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, Afterlife. That's good. Yeah.
Yes. Motherland is very funny. Lucifer or Scorpion. Oh, lots of things to recommend.
Well, June's just given me one here, but she's actually given me the name as we know it. But there's a play which actually Agatha in our office said she watched. It's a film, and she said you must watch it. And I'm trying to think what it's called. I'll see if she can give me the answer in a minute, because I'll give it away if I give her what she just told me. But it's quite a nice little film. It's got Judi Dench in it, and I'm trying to think of the other guy that's in it as well. What's his name? Who was in The Graduate? Come on, Jackie. Who was in The Graduate?
Yes.
That's it. Right.
No, gone. Brain's not working. Oh, someone's.
Right. Well,
While you're
the
thinking
film-
about it, Gary.
the film is SEO Trot, and that's ESIO, separate word, TROT. And it's a lovely little film.
SEO Trot.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one, Kirsty. That's the one. It's worth watching. And come on, what's his name?
Do you know why they've called it? Do you know why they called it SEO Trot?
Well, that gives it away a bit, doesn't it? But yeah, it's tortoise back to front. Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but yeah.
It's a nice little film, isn't it? And you think it's going to go completely.
Dustin Hoffman.
Debbie Rowe, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, it is a nice film, and it goes all in the wrong direction. But you know, the ending is worth seeing. It's very nice. I like that one. Yeah, I like you. I like to see something which is a little bit fun and enjoyable, even if it's a little bit off the wall occasionally, rather than anything that's too gripping. We watched
just to get as far. I was going to say, Gary, to get as far away as bookkeeping as we possibly can. Someone's just said, can they have a gardening tip? My gardening tip for today is make sure everything's tied in to stakes, because it's just being flattened. I've got a beautiful bed of irises, very tall irises, go all the way down the path, and half of them are just being flattened. But yeah, stake everything at the moment and make sure that if it rains or if it blows, my peonies are just starting to come out. So they're all nicely staked. So that will be my gardening tip for this week. Stake everything that you can.
I was thinking that at least it was going to dry it off because of the amount of rain we've had recently. And it does seem to be drying it, but I don't know whether we're going to get some more rain back. And I was just about to tell you.
Well, there's also a suggestion this month that we don't mow our lawns in May. Because to let the pollinators go and things. Well, I haven't mowed mine because it's too wet, so I might leave it till the end of May. And Lisa says, B&Q have a gardening competition launching, I spotted earlier in my spam email. Sounds like something you should consider. I have to say, I do spend an awful lot of time in my garden, and when I can. Okay.
Right, here we are. There's one. There's a series of 3 films, and it's got Bill Nighy in it. Now, I don't know those of you who like Bill Nighy. Bill Nighy always plays the same sort of person, but it's a lovely 3-part series. And the first one is called Page 8. Then it's called the Warwicker Trilogy, WORRICKER, Warwicker Trilogy. And he's somebody working in MI5, but it's not really about spies and all that. It's just really nice. Page 8. Then there's Hope Gap, and there's another one. Right, so Page 8 was first, then Turks and Caicos, and then Hope Gap. And it's about the same man, but it was a good watch for a series of 3. We didn't realize it was a trilogy, and we watched 2 and 3 first, and then realized there was a number 1. So we watched number 1 in 3rd place, but it was still a good set of films. And if you like Bill Nighy, he's a very nice man. And when we lived in London, he used to quite regularly have a cup of coffee at a cafe that we went past. So we'd always say hello to him and everything. And he seems a very nice man as well. And funnily enough, he's going out with somebody you never think he would, and that's the former editor of Harvest and Queen, isn't it? I'm terrible with names today. What's this? Never mind. Yeah, I can't remember that either. This is terrible, isn't it? So who's Bill Nighy going out with? I'll get a name in a minute.
Oh yeah, someone's just put up there about with Scott, Helena Bonham Carter and other people as
well. Yeah,
it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. He actually goes out with Anna Wintour, of all people. You wouldn't put the 2 together, but apparently that's who it is. So she is, so she's was a
not Vogue?
Yeah.
Vogue? No, yeah. Wintour. Anna Vogue, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a mix and match I wouldn't have come up with.
yeah. And yeah. So anyway, that's
Chantal's come up with Diana Quick. Does that Diana Quick?
Diana
Not
Quick.
sure what that was in answer to Chantal.
I think he used to go out with Diana Quick, but not anymore. Isn't that right? Or is it the other?
Oh, I see. Yeah, Kirsty's Anna Winter. Oh,
he was with her.
yeah, that is an odd combination.
Sorry.
I was going to say that is an odd, not odd. It's a different combination that I probably wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah, no, me neither. I was a bit surprised, but he seems like a nice guy, which is very nice. He seems to have very bad hands. You know, he's obviously got arthritis, but yeah. Anyway, so, well, on the basis that we thought we might be lightening it too much on a Friday, everybody's brought in their bits, so that's nice. Yeah, we ought to bring back an ICB TV book and an ICB film. We'll have something together for next time, and yeah, great. So Jackie, we've had
I think I'm just flicking through. I think we've covered everything.
Afterlife was the one with Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
So it's Pink Short Day. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's it, Gary.
There's Anna Winter. Yes. B&Q have a gardening competition. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I did.
Sounds like
I'll have a look at it. I'll look it up.
Yeah, great. Having lived in London for many years before deciding to come back out here and have a garden, I'd forgotten the delights of spending every weekend at B&Q, but I'm getting back there. And congratulations to Chrissy Applin for her long walk. She walked 20 some odd miles to raise money for cancer last week. There was a picture of her looking absolutely soaked. She appears not to have worn weatherproof clothing, which I'm not sure is what I would associate with a bookkeeper, a certain lack of planning there, perhaps. But she said the last couple of miles were terrible. And just been told, Laura, yeah, you've unsubscribed from everything apparently, so that's why you're not getting these things as we thought that might be the case. So you need to get back on and I don't know what the opposite of unsubscribe, resubscribe, that's it, and then you'll start getting this information. You really, just for the sake of seeing yet another email and saying no thank you, you're going to miss a lot if you don't subscribe, everybody. So there we go. Right, Jackie, I think our time has come and gone, there. And we need to move on. And a
couple of messages saying have a good weekend. So yes, I say that back.
Yeah, everybody have a lovely weekend. I think that the weather might take a turn for the bank holiday weekend, isn't it? It's supposed to, according to my my little BBC weather thing, it says it's got a couple of sunshines showing up for next. Well, it was Thursday, Friday. It's now Friday, Saturday, but I think it might turn, which would be really nice. So anyway, have a good week. We will see you next week. Jackie will be here next week. It's the following week that
I'll be here next Friday. Yeah.
And we will have a Jackie look-alike or something similar. It's standing in her place. If not, we're going to have a photograph of her or something or other there. Even though
I'll book that out.
So have a lovely week and weekend, everybody, and see you very soon. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.